Perfect. Well, we can go ahead and let's go ahead and kick off since we're recording it. People can kind of jump on as they want. So I'll do a quick little intro, and then Lauren will take over. So thank you everybody for being here today. I apologize, I'm off camera. I'm in the car as usual. But we are joined by Lauren Locks, who is the Director of Strategic Partnerships. I think that is your title.
Yeah,
Perfect. With RealReports. So as you guys know, RealReports is a part of our seller services program, and they have been very, very busy over there in the last month or two, rolling out a bunch of really cool new features. So I thought it was important to have them come back to us and fill you guys in on some of the awesome stuff that you can do with these. I know they've changed their pricing structure, so it's way more attractive. Not that it was bad before, but even now it's like, holy cow. So I'm going to let Lauren walk you guys through everything. I mean, there's really no reason to not be utilizing this product. There's a free version. The paid versions are, I mean, pennies compared to what they're really worth. So I hope you guys look at this stuff and really start to think how you can work it into your business. So Lauren, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Steven. Yeah, like you just said, we are RealReports. This is going to be just about a bunch of the updates we've been making over the past few weeks to months. Like you said, we've been very busy. So if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to interrupt or to ask a question or wait till the end. I'm happy to go over anything you guys need. So just a little bit about us before we get started. This is the core team. Between the four of us, we're experienced brokers, MLS directors, and technologists. Before this, we previously founded our own brokerages and prop tech firms. We help thousands of clients. We've closed hundreds of millions in home sales. We're backed by top tier prop tech investors. And we really are just trying to solve problems that we've experienced. Like I said, before this, we started our own brokerage. We're all licensed. We all dealt with clients and buying and selling properties on a daily basis. So we know the pain points that you unfortunately have to experience on a day-to-day basis, which is really what caused us to leave the brokerage and start RealReports. I don't need to tell you guys this, but our industry is changing. We are in an increasingly competitive market. There are new compensation rules and regulations going on that we all need to figure out how to deal with. And it is just becoming harder and harder for agents to differentiate themselves between their fellow agents in the industry. So our solution was RealReports. You can really think about us as the AI supercharged Carfax for homes. We have partnered with over 50 at this point data providers in the industry, and we have aggregated all of that data into one place, our RealReports. This data is available for any home or any property in the entire country. And it is really a practical and simple way to incorporate AI into your business to help you become a little bit more efficient. And it is now exclusive only to real estate agents and teams. And that is one of our first new product updates. It is agent exclusive. So before this, anyone could sign up for RealReports. You just sign up, create an account. Now when you sign up, you need to provide your license number and the state that you're licensed in. It really just allows you to have a different tool that your clients will not be able to access without you. And that means that, if your client wanted to go sign up, they wouldn't be able to without that license number. But that is to say that you as the agent can still share your reports with clients. You can still invite your clients to collaborate in your account so they can pull reports themselves. So it's really just a way to, you can provide this value to clients, but they can't access this value without you as their agent. So it really is a great way to differentiate yourselves. Some updates within the interface itself. Our map overhaul is huge. We have added dozens, might not even be enough as a number. We've added so much data with our new map. Before we had a map there and it showed the data that was in the report itself, just on a map layer. We've added so much new data. Things from the nearest dam and coal mines to fire risk zones, to flood zones, to, just so much data in there. You should definitely check it out. It's really quite incredible. It's totally dynamic. So as you scroll through the report, if you're in a specific section of the report, that corresponding map layer will automatically show. But that being said, you can see right here, you can actually control the layers of the map no matter where you're at in the report. So you could be, in zoning, but looking at where the nearest coal mine is, if you wanted to see that. So it really just gives you a lot of control over what you're looking at in the report itself. And all of that data is integrated into Aiden. So you can, while looking at the map to see that data is super helpful. If you didn't feel like looking at map layers and you just wanted to ask, where is or what's the fire risk in this area, things like that. Aiden will go and digest all that map data that we have and will be able to give you an answer within a few seconds. The sharing component. So before this, when you pulled a report, your report was private by default, which meant that you pulled a report, you copied that URL and sent it to a client. They, by default, unless you turned it on, would not be able to access that report. So by popular demand, since agents really enjoy sharing their reports, it's now public by default. So when you pull a report, you can right away copy the link, send it out, and whoever you send it to will be able to view your report. Of course, they would still need to have your link to view your report, so it's not like you pull it and anyone can view it. You still need to share it with them. But again, you don't need to go and turn on that setting in order to do so. It also means that lead capture is turned on by default as well. Again, if you want to turn either of these things off, you just go to the settings and you will be able to turn them off. This is just, we updated the UI in this. We made the buttons a little bit bigger, a little bit easier to find, and just made it all a lot more user-friendly. And again, like I said, the lead capture is on by default for buyer and seller reports only. Lead gen in our open house flyer. So you're always able to print the report, but we did, and there is a custom branded cover page for whatever you print, but we did create this new lead gen open house flyer. And this is available only with seller reports. It's branded to try and replace that open house check-in sheet. You can receive your contact details and lead insights for anyone that scans the QR code. So really the way that agents have been using this thing is they print this out, they leave it on the counter. Anyone that comes in, they have them scan that QR code, assuming you have lead gen turned on with that report, which I honestly always recommend having turned on. But assuming you have that on, anyone that comes in, scans that report or scans that QR code, they have to enter in their contact info in order to view the report, which means you start, collecting the names and emails of anyone that comes in the open house. But then you also get to start collecting anything that those people ask Aiden. So, while they're walking around the open house, looking at things, and they're asking Aiden questions about the home, you'll get to then aggregate all that data and see it in the report, or in your dashboard rather. And that just helps with your follow-up. So instead of it being like, hey, James, thanks for coming to my open house. Do you have any questions? It's, hey, James, thanks for coming to my open house. I saw you were asking about the rental potential. Here are my insights. So it gives you that extra layer of insight into what those attendees to your open house were thinking, what they're concerned about, what they like, and it lets you have an extra step up when you're doing your outreach. Report upgrading, another new feature. Now, if you're in a snapshot or a buyer report, you'll see this little upgrade button here, and then you'll also see that the menu and the side nav will show some sections that are grayed out. So before this, if you were in a snapshot or buyer report, you would only ever see the data that was included in that tier of the report. Now, every data section is always shown, but if it's unavailable, you'll see this little hover state where it says upgrade report to get it. It just makes it easier for you if perhaps you bought a snapshot just because your client wanted to go on a showing, and then later on the client really liked it, so you want to upgrade to a buyer or seller report to get that extra data. Instead of going through the whole process again, you can just upgrade real quick by clicking these buttons. These buttons are not visible if you share the report, so they're only there for you, the agent, the owner of the report, to see, so your clients won't see them. That being said, in the near future, we are going to be adding a request info button for your clients. So when you do share the report, that button is there. And that'll just let it be so that, if you do share a snapshot, perhaps your client really wants to see the zoning data for this property. They can just request that info through that button. You'll get a notification, and then you can reach out and either provide that data or that report or answer any questions they have, things like that. But for now, there is that upgrade button just to let you get another tier of the report if you need it. Property photos. This was a huge, in my opinion, improvement to the report. Now you can add photos to any report you have. We've got agents that use it for aerial photos from their listings. They add pictures from inspections, things like that. Really, really easy to do. It provides a lot of help for your clients. You can manage these photos super easily just by clicking that manage photo button. You can upload all the pictures you want, and then you can hide as many as you want as well, so that when you share it, only specific photos that you want shared are made public. Really easy to do, and it creates just a lot of value for your clients to have those photos in there. And then updates with Aiden. Speaking of photos, all those photos get added to Aiden as well if you want them. So when you're chatting with Aiden, you have the ability to add in a photo to that chat. Aiden will then use that photo to answer questions. So you can have that be, for example, you can ask Aiden, write me a draft listing description for this property. You attach a few of the listing photos you have, and then it uses those photos to help make and enrich its listing description into what it should be using those photos. So it's really, really helpful, super easy to use. It's also great, if you do have a inspection photo or something like that, you can ask Aiden a question about that. And it will, again, use all that data it has available to it to answer those questions. Just another note, in addition to photos, Aiden also analyzes any documents you upload as well, in addition to all of the data in the report. So Aiden really uses anything at its disposal to give you the most accurate and instant answers it can. AI document identification. So we've had document uploading as part of our Real Report feature for a while, but now when you're uploading the document, Aiden actually starts analyzing it as soon as you click upload. You'll actually see this in real time when you upload a document rather. You'll see that it's scanning it, and then it will pop up a modal that it will come up with a title, the document type, and the document date, just by, again, analyzing that document itself. You can always correct it if in case it's wrong or it picks a different date, or you just want to name the file something else. But you can see it in real time as it's analyzing that data. And then once it has identified, the type of document it is and things like that, it'll actually take that into consideration when analyzing the document to pull out the necessary or important information in there for you and your clients. AI voice, we've actually made it so that you can talk with Aiden instead of just typing with it. This is super helpful, if you're on the road, on the way to a showing or things like that. You can just chat right with it and it will answer your questions. It is multilingual so that you and your clients can speak to it in any language needed, and it will respond in kind. And then it also comes with these accessibility features where now Aiden can read back the message that it's sent, and you can also click that little button just to copy all of the message as well. We added Aiden into snapshot reports. So before this, Aiden was only available in buyer and seller tier reports. Now we've added it in snapshot. That being said, it is a basic version of Aiden. If you wanted a more advanced version of Aiden, you would have to go to either a buyer or seller. That being said, it also, as you all probably know, Aiden uses all the data that's in the report in order to, educate itself and answer your questions. So that being said, in a snapshot report, there is the least amount of data out of the 3 report tiers, which means that Aiden will have the least amount of data to work with. So we just always like to call it out that, Aiden is quote unquote limited because the amount of data in that report is limited. Again, just upgrade to a buyer or seller report if you do want a more educated and advanced version of Aiden.
Hey, Lauren.
Yeah.
Are the document analysis and photo features not available in the snapshot on Aiden?
They are, I believe they are available in snapshot. I think documents and photos are just it's a subscription perk, so you don't have access to them.
Gotcha.
Forever.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect.
Great question. And then for pricing, we have really done a huge overhaul on our pricing, which I'm super excited about. The first thing is transactional report purchases. So before this, you had to be a subscriber in order to get any kind of Real Report. Now that is just no longer accurate. You can sign up, and without a subscription, you can purchase transactionally either buyer or seller reports just in cash. You cannot purchase snapshot reports. Those are a perk of subscriptions, but you can purchase buyer seller if you need them. Again, no subscription is required. And it really is helpful. We just as a company, we never want to force an agent into anything that they're not comfortable with. So if you're not comfortable with subscribing, or let's say you only really need 1 credit a month and not 2, but this month we do want that seller report, even though you don't have the credits for it. We want to make it so that if you need a report, you can get a report no matter if you're a subscriber or not, no matter if you have 1 credit a month or not, just meet you where you're at. So now you can get a report no matter what you're doing. And that's just a huge change. And just a reminder that this is retail pricing, not the pricing that you would get through Coldwell Banker. The seller report update itself specifically got a pricing change. So now seller reports are 2 credits instead of 3, which was a change itself because when we first started, they were 5 credits each. So we've really, again, we just want to meet agents where they're at. Everyone loves the seller report. It's got all of the data available. Agents really think that it helps a lot when they're doing listing presentations, things like that. So we just wanted to make it more accessible where we could. So again, that's 2 credits now. A buyer report is 1 credit. Snapshots are included with subscriptions. And then the subscription overhaul, we used to have 3 different tiers of subscriptions, which was a lot, and they were limited in the amount of credits. So you could either get 1 credit a month, 5 credits, or 10 credits each month. We have totally restructured that where it is now 1 subscription tier that you can customize how many credits you want. You can go from anywhere from 1 to, I honestly forget how many, but you can see here 35. Super easy to do, super customizable. Again, just gives you the flexibility you need. And then as a subscriber, you get a number of perks. I already mentioned this, but you get unlimited snapshot reports as a subscriber. You get at least a 33% discount off of buyer and seller reports. You get that AI and document photo analysis. You get client collaboration, which means you get to invite your clients to your account. You can gift them credits, which means they can go and pull reports without having to ask you, which is always nice. Instead of getting that 11 p.m. text about a property, they can just pull that report themselves. And also your credits have a 6-month carryover time. So you get a credit and you don't use it, you have 6 months to use it before it goes away. So super flexible. And agents and teams can, like I said, customize those credit amounts. The more credits you get, the higher the discount you get on those per credit pricing. And also if you go annual, you get a bigger discount as well. And I believe that is all of the updates. I know it was a lot. Does anyone have any questions or want me to run through anything?
I'd like, and if other people have questions first, that's fine, but I would love to hear some of the best practices that you guys have been hearing from other agents using your reports, like for the seller reports, getting business, or how they're leveraging these, because I know I'm hearing really good stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Other folks.
Yeah. So honestly, the way that most agents, and I always love asking for feedback, but what I've been hearing a lot is a lot of agents use the snapshot report since they're free and totally unlimited as a subscriber. They really pull them for like any property their client is even remotely interested in. It costs them nothing. It just provides that extra value. And while the snapshot reports do have the least amount of data, the data in it is still pretty, I think, robust. And it's really helpful because it gives a lot of the kind of surrounding area data. So I always use this as an example, but one of the agents I was talking to not too long ago, he was going on a show, or their client wanted to go to this property. He pulled this snapshot, sent it to the client, and the client noticed that there was a Superfund site like 2 miles down the road. And they decided they didn't want to see anymore because they were just like, there's no way I'm going to buy this house. It's too close to a Superfund site. And so they just knocked that off the list. They didn't waste the 30 minutes driving there, the 30 minutes at the house, and then the 30-minute drive home. So it just saves everyone a bunch of time. Again, it creates that value. And if everything goes right, the client's super happy because they get to see data that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. Then the buyer seller is when agents they pull them really when the client is just a little bit more interested in the property. They go on that showing, they want to learn more. The seller report itself has been really, really successful as a listing presentation tool. We had one agent who he wanted a $6 million listing, and he went on a couple podcasts to tell them about it, but he attributes a lot of it to the Real Report because the client was just so impressed that he came to that meeting with so much data that no one else had come to that table with. So the seller report really is a huge tool for those listing presentations and the buyer presentations. I already mentioned how people are using that open house check-in sheet a lot. That's been getting some really good response. It's just been really helpful. Agents also just love that because they could be talking with some guests in the kitchen, but then while people are walking around the property, those people are still asking the agent questions. So they're still getting value from that agent, even if the agent isn't standing right next to them to answer the questions themselves. So really, I mean, those are just like a number of ways that have been success stories and how agents are using it. But it really is one of the things I love about our product is that you can really use it however you need it. The use cases are so vast that you can really customize it to fit into whatever your workflow is. But yeah, I hope that answered your question.
It did. Thank you.
Of course. Did anyone else have any questions or anything I could go over or summarize or anything like that?
I guess everyone is completely understanding of the product. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lauren. If nobody else has anything, I'm not going to keep you. It's a great product. If you don't remember how to get there, you can either, I believe, go through Moxie, or you can go right to realreports.ai, correct?
Yeah, there is, if you go through Moxie, that's great. There is if you sign up through Coldwell Banker's invite link, you'll get some perks. So I would do that.
Yeah.
Stephen, I can email you that link again if you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Sure, I can do that right after this.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess if nobody's got any questions, we'll call it a day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it.